Nice. And Chrome, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was using it on Chrome a couple of years before they got it in Firefox.
Yeah,
so.
True.
Oh, it is
hi,
Wednesday.
Arthur. Hi, Mir.
Playing with buttons. That's what you do on Wednesday. You just find a good button, you start playing with it, and you're like, ah, man, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's do a little repost into the social medias. Let's tell Mastodon that we are live. What am I going to tell Mastodon about? Like, hey, man, we're doing a show, but first let me tell you about our sponsors, our patrons. Patreon.com/Linux Geek. I'm not going to type all that out. Let's see. We're live with LWDW.
Yay.
KDE. Single versus double. Clicky. Goodness. Look at that. I type word good. Linux podcast. I assume people use hashtags. I put them in there, but I don't ever search by hashtags.
I do occasionally, but usually you don't have to because just the name is good enough.
Right. You just do a little search and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get this. About where do I want that? About right there and this way. Wrong button. There we go. Hey.
Yay.
Got our clock going on. Hello, Arthur, and hello, Mir. Yeah, we're just talking in the pre-show. What I'm going to be talking about at the top of the show is not re-imaging a box.
Yeah.
But doing a clean install from backups my way.
VenOS.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's Venos.
Venos.
It's part of a balanced breakfast.
Cheerios. Venos. Yeah, tropical Ven.
Stone Linux. Colorful. I bought the shirt, so I'm good. Like, this shirt.
A nice I love it, Ben. I love that shirt. It's happy.
Tuck shirt. I got a couple shirts that I only wear in here. But I try not to wear the same ones each and every week because, like, logically, you're like, hey, you were wearing that shirt last week.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Yes,
I'm always
I've had an entire week to do laundry. So, yes, there's a good chance that the shirt's been laundered. But, just from that.
Yeah. Today I'm wearing my Disney shirt because I haven't in a while. But I usually wear, my Linux shirts. But I have hundreds of them. So there's a good chance that I don't have to generally worry about wearing the same thing twice.
You see, Joel, I'm not a hoarder, so I don't have hundreds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really confusing for the audio listeners, because they're like, man, it sounds like Ven's wearing that tropical shirt for the second one. No.
2 weeks ago.
I would have to go look. I know it's been a minute. All right, we're gonna hop in and get into it. So we've got about 8 minutes, and
we'll go
I saw.
Take a break and get a little bit more water.
All right, you do that, and I'm gonna do the same. I gotta get some more drinks.
Okay.
To get that together. So I got back to the house today, and I go to check in our super secret Discord. It's amazing how AMD GPUs just work under Linux under Arch, right? That's pretty neat. Just plug them in, no problems. Right out of the box, everything works. Did you guys get that figured out? I saw Chipsy was having some issues. I never get the gist of what the problem was, though. It was one of those things. I saw there's work being done in our Discord to debug it. Pedro was working on it. I saw Arthur was jamming in with some stuff. There was something wrong with the AMD GPU. It wasn't doing something. He was using Arch. And apparently the conversation has gotten to the point of, like, have you tried using Wayland? I don't know exactly what the root cause of the issue was. I don't have any AMD GPUs. I got two 5600Gs. I've never had any problem with them. Especially with like Debian 12. It used to be like on Debian 11, like my workaround trick to make sure all the acceleration stuff was, you had the i386 architecture, just install Steam. Because Steam's like I need all this, and it would just do it in one swoop. You don't have to do that anymore. We tried messing. What is the problem, though? Like, it was too long. I don't even know, like, what was the error? Anything that uses Vulkan runs like crap? It's kind of nebulous, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it kind of runs like crap. I don't know what type of GPU he has either. Also, I don't know what the definition of crap is. Everybody's got their own definition of crap, let's be real. It's like, for me, it's like it runs like crap. That means it can't do, like 1080p 60. Some people are like, oh, it runs like crap. Yeah, 4K 120. They're like, ah. RX 550. We're going to get the AMD GPU announcement today or tomorrow at Gamescom. So AMD is going to be kind enough to bless us. Hopefully, in theory, we're going to get AMD GPUs for us poors that us mere peasants can afford. Or at least do the mental, the mental gymnastics required, because I can't bring myself to buy a $1,000 GPU, man. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it either. I feel like I'd be contributing to that idea of that's okay and that's not okay. It's not okay when you are doing like 40 to 60% margin on these things. Yes, they cost more to make, but not that much more. But I don't really need a new GPU either. As much as I would like something faster than the 3060, let's be honest. I mean, it does what I need it to. I'd like something that runs Trackmania 2020 a little bit better, but hey. And I was talking on Saturday, I've just given up on an ARC A770. Had one in my cart, getting ready to buy it. And the price swing for the A7, okay, it's got 3 states of A770. Has 3 states of matter on Amazon. It's got the one where it will be like $289 to $300. Then it's got the one where it'll be out of stock. Then it'll have the one to where it'll be like $380. And it will switch between these states within 6-hour periods. Because between the time I put it in the cart to get the Acer one and got back to like, okay, I just need to go ahead and pull the trigger on this thing, it went up like $60. I'm like, F this, I just put it out of my mind. So you're not going to get any Vinstone hot takes on the ARC architecture until Battle Mage, probably. That's all right. I need to check this expander here.
Hey, Arthur, how are you doing today? Are you having a good week? It's the evening for you.
Cool.
You watch us before you go to bed.
They might be listening.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go get something to drink, everybody, and we will hop in to this week's story and tell you what is better, single click or double click. I'm gonna tell you what to think. There will be no argument.
Oh, nice, Arthur, a tuxedo. Woohoo! Oh, that's gonna be awesome. I know so many people who love their tuxedos. That is awesome. Which one did you get? I think you mentioned you were going to pick one up a while ago. Oh. They make some of the best Linux laptops. They really do. I haven't gotten to play with one, but I know people who have them. I've talked to online. Let me see. Oh, the text plushie. Oh, goody. Oh, the Infinity book. Nice. Sweet, Arthurian. I'm looking at it. Yeah, the Iris XE too is really good for, you know, playing games on medium to high settings, depending on the title. It does a good job. And the resolution, of course. Yeah, you got the text super key. I have one of their super keys. That I do have. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've always been impressed with the Intel, you know, IPUs. They're, gosh, even on my 10-year-old iMacs, they can still play, you know, games, not AAAs, but they can still play most of the indies and whatnot that are on Steam, no problem. Yeah, the HD integrated is, yeah. But I have Iris XE on one of my laptops as well. And it's really nice. Yes. Yeah, that's all you need, Half-Life 2. You know what? that's funny that you say that, Arthurian, because my game, the only game it really has to play, as long as it can play Portal or Portal 2, I'm happy. So that means it'll play the other games I want to play. Yeah, so I play Portal 2 on my old iMacs. Oh yeah, Half-Life 2 co-op. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Half-Life is a lot of fun. I had ran through it a couple years ago. You know, we were playing the co-op here on LGC, and so I went through the whole single-player campaign again because it's such a good game.
What are we on about?
Oh, Half-Life 2 and Portal, and talking about what's our minimum requirement for a laptop or a PC to play what games. Because Arthurian is getting an awesome Tuxedo Infinity Pro laptop. Nice. Yay! Oh yeah, you have the Steam Deck.
What do we think about this?
Ooh. Oh, nice.
We're getting Half-Life 2.
That's going to be cool.
RTX on.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I'm not going to be able to make fun of all these poorly done computers in the background.
Yeah, now they're good. Look at that. Look what a difference that makes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, no, in all fairness, they're redoing a lot of models, and like it's got they're tracing rays.
Yeah, it looks like it.
This was an announcement from yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah. You know what? I don't need to replay Half-Life 2, but I will.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I was happy when they did Portal. I you know, as long as you were playing it in 1080p, you could at least get like 40 frames per second from it on a, you know, halfway decent NVIDIA
Yeah, you had
card.
to dial it down quite a bit to get it to play kind of nice. But I mean, it was workable, right?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, ray traced Lamar's.
Head crabs. Yeah, they will be even scarier because now they're gonna actually look like yeah, all that detail.
The thing that struck me when I was watching the go and watch that trailer, just do a search for Half-Life RTX on the YouTubes. The thing that struck me most is like, old as that game is, it still holds up like graphically still.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Like, so much attention to detail went into that game. There's no like lazy spots in the levels where they're just like, no one's ever gonna look over here.
And it even plays real well in 4K. That and Portal both play well in 4K. The Sirius engine is really good about upscaling.
And the Source engine?
Mm-hmm. The Sirius engine? Sorry. Yeah, the Source engine. Not the Sirius Sam engine.
That'd be a weird one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Source
map this
engine
out.
2.
For a oh, my maths was wrong. For a 19-year-old game. Half-Life 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Amazing.
November 16th, 2004. Almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
And we're still waiting. We're still waiting. We're not even waiting for Half-Life 3. Everybody's waiting for Half-Life 3. No, we're waiting for Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting on. We're sitting back and being like, come on.
That's good. Arthur, and that's good. Aw, the Santa Claus.
Good times. All right, I think we get pretty much everything. Yeah, it has been 19 years. I just looked that up
Ralph.
and knew I wasn't going to be happy with figuring out how long that's been. But yeah, that was to Jill's like, yeah, it runs at 4K. I'm like, man, we better be able to run 19-year-old games in 4K.
Yeah, this is true.
But yeah, I mean, that speaks to where it's at with the game now. I mean, it still looks all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't play through it until like 5 or 6 years ago. And at no point during that game playthrough was it like, oh, this looks horrible. I'm like, no, it's pretty fun. Looks all right.
Yeah. I had first played the demo when it was available on Steam on Linux. That was a while ago. So yeah,
I bought it, but I never got around to playing it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I could not share in like the collective anger that how it just ended until, again, like 5 or 6 years ago. I'm like, oh, now I understand why everybody's so mad. Like, I get it now. I get it now. All right. All right, that's plugged in good. What else do we?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
Aw, Arthur was a little kid then. You were probably a really cute little kid.
I don't know, man. Let's see. 2004, we were in our 20s. Let's see. And that's weird now, especially like I look at somebody who's in their 20s and I'm like, child. But then again, when I was 20, I didn't want anything to do with 20-year-olds.
Yeah, I was the same way. All my friends were always older. Even as a little kid, I had older friends.
I learned the errors of my way later on in life to make sure I had friends that were younger than me to keep abreast. So you don't get caught in the, what do you guys do? We sit around and talk about old times. I'm like, oh no, that's a dangerous trap to get in. I like having people to keep me abreast. I'm like, what's going on? What are the kids doing?
Yeah.
Okay, we have that. How's that gallery going to open? Okay, it's going to open like that. How do I close it? Doing a little pre-show. Okay.
Hi,
so
Matthew. Strider. Their friends are here. Run for your lives. Aw.
you don't have to worry. They're harmless. Yeah. All right, we're looking good. You got return video, correct?
Yes.
That our web circuits are working. Okay, as long as this thing doesn't implode when I hit record, we'll be doing good. Elmo with baguettes.
I love baguettes. It's one of my favorite types of bread.
I don't eat bread.
Yeah, I do once in a while.
I like bread. I just don't eat it anymore. I found out they're opening like a third. There's a small chain of gluten-free restaurants in Netherlands, which I learned earlier this week. I'm like, what?
Oh.
They're like, we're opening a third location. I'm like, oh no. What are they going to do when like the vast majority of people that think they have a allergy or whatnots to gluten, they're gluten intolerant? That's not really their problem. Like, that's been studied to death. Bread.
Yeah, well, my favorite American bread is definitely sourdough.
Bread gonna bread. Most of the bread here, I think I pick up on it because I'm violently against like sugar and sweets. No sugar in it. Any process?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's
got a lot
sweet.
of sugar
It's
in it.
nasty.
Yeah.
It's like whole wheat. Yeah, sourdough. I think would be all right.
Yeah, sourdough, whole wheat. I like anything with nuts in it and honey in it.
The equivalent of sprinkles for bread. All right. So we should be good to go, everybody. Good there. Good there. Good there. There we go. Bomba Linux. Cool. And what else? Wow. I think we're good. We should be able to hit the record button and watch everything fly apart.
Yay. Nope. Hopefully it doesn't fly apart.
Hopefully it doesn't. We're not gonna make any promises. That's good. Temps are good. And yeah. All right. Any famous last words before we try this?
No fire.
Everybody get those fire emojis ready.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Did I make a record? Yeah, I did. Oh, I got room to put that. I'm scared to put my super record button onto a main page on the Stream Deck because, you know, per page I have it. I scroll through the different pages I've set up and, you know, I have a page for each show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that button, when I press this button, it'll automatically start recording on this PC, which is going to record all of our audio, and it'll hit record on Reaper, and it's going to hit record on OBS. When I hit it again, it stops, so everything's in perfect sync.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want that on the main page that I use for switching on each show, because I don't want to accidentally edit.
Accidentally click it. Yeah. That makes sense.
But I want to put it there for convenience reasons, right?
Yeah, that would make life a lot easier.
That's why I want to get that big jumbo deck so I can put all that stuff like way over here.
Maybe that's a button you can program to double click so that you don't accidentally single click it.
I can.
There you go.
But then,
maybe that's but then you got to remember to double click.
Exactly. I'm like, why didn't anything record? It's better that I keep it on its own page.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. We're good to go, everybody. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vince Stone, joined every week by Joe, Brian, and everybody sitting around, maybe running away from bread while watching us live on Twitch. I guess I need to go ahead and hop into, we have our super secret Discord. You can hop into that if you are a Twitch subscriber or a patron, but I want to get our live audio up. Live audio, if I click that, there you guys go.
There you go.
I got to remember to do that because I went through the trouble of making sure that's set up for each and every show. I'm always messing around with the audio configurations, and this week is no exception. So if anything sounds weird and explodes, there's your warning, but it should be listenable. It should be sane explosions. You're like, yeah, that sounds really off, but it's perfectly balanced as all things should be. So I want to start right off at the top of the show about something I've been working on since Tuesday, and I don't typically do, and that's the steps that everybody goes through when you're rebuilding your Linux rig, your Linux machine, your primary system that you use day in and day out, because we all have different strategies from doing it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And like Threadbooper style, because I went through this with Jackbox. Now, typically what I do is I image everything. I get everything running, image it, and we're good to go. Something ever goes amiss, what do I do? Just pop that image back on, we're good to go. What happens over the years with, especially Threadbooper, it has had the same Debian install since Debian 10, which we're at Debian 12. Yeah. Now, for you Arch users, for Ubuntu users, for Fedora users, like, well, what? That's a couple of weeks, right? That's not a big deal. When you think of Debian, we're talking 2, 4, coming up on 6 years. Things get crufty, even under Linux. Not to Windows extents. No. But they do. You get junk built up in your home directory. You get libraries that you've installed to compile things, and things can get a little squirrely. You probably got something, if you have a long-running install that you've had for a couple of years, you're like, yeah, that probably doesn't work quite like it should, but you know what? It's good enough. So what I did is something I haven't done in a while, is doing a clean install from backups, which is a lot more work than you would think. Now, what do you use for backups these days? Me, I'm old, I'm lazy, I like convenient stuff. Huge fan of a GUI tool, DejaDupe.
Oh, yeah, DejaDupe is excellent. I use that too.
It just works. The entire time I'm using this, I'm like, this is too easy. This is just too easy, you know. You point it at a directory or folders that you want, usually your home directory. Tell them, hey, back this up, put it in a folder, move that over to another machine, replicate it, you're good to go. So I did a clean install of Debian 12, probably like 3 o'clock on Tuesday morning, somewhere in there, and I got this process underway. And I wanted to do this for an upcoming video that I'm working on anyway. I'm like, what's the ins and outs of setting up Debian 12 versus way back in Debian 10? And I've run into stuff that has changed that I didn't see because I had these configuration files sitting around that I've already taken care of and I've forgotten because it's been so many years. So the challenge of that is not just taking all of your dot files from your home directory. This is the hard one, and going, boom, just dumping it in, because then you have your desktop, you have all your configurations and your Thunar stuff.
Yeah.
That took forever. But going through that was a bit of an experience. And I guess Debian 12 is pretty smooth out of the box. What I'm curious is, what is your method for doing that? For doing a clean install, but pulling from backups, or however you do, or you just do everything from scratch? Because way back in the day, we just did everything from scratch because we didn't know better, or we didn't have extra storage laying around to back things up. You know, at worst, you might have had some passwords scribbled down somewhere. You're like, oh, I'll need that and that. Or you had some handwritten notes that you've typed out. And one thing I did notice when we talk about cruft, because I build a lot of stuff on this box, it's pretty static in its base function. But I'm always, especially on Debian, you run into situations where I'm like, well, this package, okay, I'm just going to have to build it from the Git repo, or we're nuts. I think it was about 48 gigabytes of question mark stuff was gone. Like stuff that I'd installed over these years, libraries, packages, and things that I did not need to get this box back up and running 100%. So there was that advantage. But
nice.
You know,
have more space is always good.
Even though, you know, let's be honest, space isn't really an issue these days.
Yeah.
As I was sitting there earlier this week looking at a 2 terabyte NVMe drive.
Yeah, we were checking that out. I was surprised in how low those have come.
Yeah, 2 terabyte NVMe drive, like a Samsung 2 terabyte, like $100.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now I'm looking at like the 4 terabyte SSDs are under $300 now.
Nice.
Did you see the drive? Samsung talked. I have a picture of it on my Mastodon. I posted it earlier this week. It is a 256 terabyte drive.
Woohoo! Yeah, I did see an article about it. That's awesome.
In the world, that's a real number that my brain has a problem with. Like, what do I even do with that? But yeah, that's been fun getting everything back up. So if you got like a weird strategy, you got some hints, some tips for everybody, leave those in the comments section on the YouTube video or on the Odyssey video. Mm-hmm. Let me know. I'm always interested in how everybody has that strategy put together, but it's good to have a clean rebuild effectively, rebuilding everything from backups, but very selectively only the bare stuff, because I'm only a couple of little applications. And I ran into things. I was talking to Jill in the pre-show. Go back and listen to that if you're a patron. Like Also Player's made a change. I used Also Player for the show because everything's running Jack. Also Player has a Jack module plugin. You start that up. Previously, it just loaded that. It doesn't do that anymore. And if somebody had came to me and said, Vin, I heard you use Also Player, and I've installed Also Player, and it doesn't work with Jack, what would I have told them? It sounds like you broke something.
Yeah.
Because it works for me.tm. And now I know. Also, now I know that you got to give it an O flag with Jack for the output module now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, these are things. And on top of that, I've been optimizing some custom kernels because I found out that there's flags for Zen 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I've been playing around with that. But that is extraordinarily boring, except for like 7 people in the audience. Like, come on, give me 30 minutes of that. I'm not. I'm going to respect your time. How? I'm bound. You, Joe, you got a wombo combo earlier this week, didn't you?
We did. So we actually had a bit of weather here in SoCal over the weekend with Hurricane Hillary. And fortunately, here in Los Angeles, we didn't get the worst of it. I'm here literally, within a mile of the ocean, and it saw the cold water and went boop inland to the deserts and the high mountains, and it caused a lot of damage in Palm Springs and a lot of other communities. But we were fortunate that it didn't, unleash the worst of the wrath here in the South Bay. It was a little scary. The creepy thing is we had a moderate size earthquake, just above 5.0, and it was just nerve-wracking. Here we're waiting for the 70, 80 mile an hour winds with rain, and then we get an earthquake.
I saw a lot of those responses, and it wasn't like, it was like magnitude 5 earthquake, but California, they're like, eh. But it was more than like, really? We got to deal with a
exactly.
And this? And it was like, man.
It was #hurricane.
I could imagine. I could imagine. I'm glad everybody's fine. It fortunately didn't do like, of course, like all the news was like, it's going to wipe out California. Be scared.
I know, I bet. Yeah, it was just a lot of water. And we've had, we had actually a lot of rain with the rain we had in the winter. So we're kind of getting more used to rain. But it's been
We're learning to bathe.
Yeah.
Okay. Good intro, but let's go ahead and hop into this. This is something that I just want to sit outside in the audience and get some popcorn.
Yes, absolutely. So the mouse click debate continues. Woohoo! The upcoming KDE Plasma 6 will require users to double-click on files and folders to open them instead of single-clicking, which has been the default for KDE since its inception in 1996. And KDE Plasma 6 is actually built on top of Qt6 and is tentatively planned for release in late 2023 or early 2024. And honestly, one of the obvious reasons for the change is that universally on most Linux desktops like GNOME and XFCE, double-click is default with most functions. And on other operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Chrome OS, use the double-click standard. So click behavior, of course, can be configured in KDE settings, and you can change back to single click if you like, which I will be doing. Actually, although many people I know already turn on double click in KDE as default, but I'm actually a little unique that I actually prefer single click, especially in KDE where I've been using it for so many years. I actually like the speed of one click and using the mouse less. And I honestly sometimes turn it on in other DEs and X window managers as well. So, for me, I understand why they're going to double click, but the single click option will always be there when I want to activate it. So no problem. No problem there. So Ben, what do you think of the mouse click debate once again?
It's not a debate. It's not. We've already seen live chat point out, single click is the path of sociopaths. Now, this was discussed at Academy, which is the gathering of the KDE humans in 2022, but everybody's like, okay, fine. That was the KDE teams of like, sure, we can switch it. That's not a big deal. Yeah. But double click when using a pointing device, kids. That's made sense since the invention of pointing devices. This has started off because some clever people smarter than us went, we need a buffer. We need a buffer because this human meat machine that we're all made of, we make mistakes and we make the extra clicks and extra things get opened up. And the double click buys you that buffer. Now, accidentally opening something that requires a double click, Herculean effort there. You really got to want to accidentally open something if you got to click on it twice. And I'm not saying it can't happen because this happened to me too, but it's a long stretch from clicking on something one time because you do phantom clicks. Why? The meat machine will just click on things sometimes. You've done it. Don't pretend you haven't because you have. Now, especially if you have a sensitive mouse too, as well. A mouse, and you'll be hovering over the button, and that clicking button, wherever it may be, it's just going to click on you. Sometimes it's like I just need to click on that, and there you go. Double click saves you from that. But the thing I want to talk about, the thing I want to bring up, why this doesn't matter at all, as much as people want to fight about it. Most of you running any desktop have a mixed environment. You do. You got that mixed environment of single clicks and double clicks. And, I look at like my desktop icons on XFCE, double click, not a problem. Taskbar, your quick launchers, all of that single click. And
all
me
your
and Jill,
docs.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jill and I were joking in the pre-show. We're like, you know what should be double click? Menus. So when you open a menu and you go to applications, you go to that and you click on it once. We need another pop-up menu on your desktop, and it's like one click down, one more to go. So you open the menu again and double click. See, that makes sense when you single click on those things. Yeah. So I'm going to say, Stunar, file managers, think about that. I was just looking around on my desktop here. Navigation on the left side when I'm going into a folder or a drive, that's all single click. But then again, going into a folder on the right side to enter it, you got to double click on that. Navigating the places. So single click purists, it's just going to be another on the long list of things that you're going to, that checklist of things to disable or enable when you install or set up KDE, right? Yeah. Is it going to drive you crazy? Now, for me, no. If it's a touch, I expect everything to be one click, right? Or one touch. Absolutely. Yeah. On the desktop, and again, it's not even it's to save you from yourself type of preference. Yes. To prevent you from accidentally opening things. And single click's been a thing on KDE since forever. And I remember, we're talking, 2 decades ago going, nah, I don't like this. But then again, you're going to write in and you're going to be like, well, that's because you're clumsy oaf. And I'm like, I'm not going to disagree with you right there. But, the double click thing has worked for a reason and it predates Windows. That was a comment that I saw. I was like, double clicks. Because again, the lovable, huggable, single click sociopaths. They're like, that's only for Windows users. You're being trapped by the thoughts of the peasant Windows users. I'm like, man, double click predates Windows by a long shot, buddy. So what I'm saying is, Microsoft, go to single click.
Yeah, there we go. Make a lot of people frustrated.
You know what? Here we go. Apple, you do it first, then Microsoft will just copy it for no reason.
Yeah.
And they'll somehow find a way to make it worse.
Yes.
It'll be kind of brilliant. What else? Is there any other desktops that have single click by default? And again, it's not that big of a deal. It's never been a deal with me and KDE because it's been easy to switch that default behavior. Is Enlightenment single click? I don't think so.
No.
It's a mixed environment because on the launchers, most certainly.
Yeah, it's mixed. I mean, I know there's some distros that sometimes enable single click, but it's in a desktop manager that's usually double click. And
I think that's what most people forget. Like you already have single click and you have double click. You just don't think about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I set up Window Maker to be single click, but with Window Maker, it's harder to make mistakes because most of the apps, you keep in the corners. So I can single click those and launch them. And sometimes I forget, when I install a new version of Window Maker, I got to go in and set the settings to single click instead of double click. Yeah.
Maybe what we need to do, KDE team, hear me out. Let's do some RNG. Okay? Let's just randomly split UI elements 50-50 between single and double without any feedback. So it doesn't open the first time, click on it again. It'll be a little game.
Yeah.
It'll be like Minesweeper. Yeah, I don't think anybody. It's something like maybe to get a little bit upset about if you just don't like that one extra thing that you got to do, but don't pretend for a second because everybody who uses any desktop, you have your checklist of like, I need to change this, and this because you're going to customize it for how you use it, right?
Yeah.
So as long as that's not like buried in a config file somewhere, I'm like, all right, but just change it back over. Like one thing, XFCE, arguably the finest desktop manager ever created by humanity. No bias, none. Just stating facts, fam. The Alt key, I have to change every single time because it's like an action key to like do zooming the desktop, and you use that Alt key in OBS.
Yeah. For
resizing them. I constantly have to do that. And another thing XFCE does out of the box, which I loathe with passion, is it does grouping, window grouping. I don't need one little box that tells me that I have 16 terminals open. I'm aware I have 16 terminals open. I need those 16 terminals lined at the top.
Up.
So I know somewhere in this vicinity is the last one that I need for this now that this is compiled, so I can come back over here and start working on this. And it's not obvious how to disable. I have to Google it because it's so rare that I do a clean install with XFCE, but it's not like a super obvious thing. So KDE people, don't panic. Unless you just want to argue on the internet, then just go for it. Go ham. Have some fun.
Have some fun.
We need to maybe think about if you're going to be running XFCE, maybe this is the thing. Maybe this is the last straw on KDE. I'm not going to have this anymore, man. I can't handle it. Maybe you want to move over to XFCE.
Yes.
Just maybe, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe a little suggestion. One thing you might notice with XFCE is menus, because your application menus are not the smoothest things in the world, and there have been very creative, like launch code hacks to get around to be able to edit these menus in the past. Because why? You don't want to crack open a file and edit them by hand like a like unhinged person. I'm sorry, it's 2023. Those days are over. An application I've been using for a long, long time to fix this is Menu Libre.
Nice.
And it just does the job, because some applications never create an entry. You don't install them and they never show up. You're like, I want that in my menu. Boom, you get it done. And then other applications, when you uninstall them, they don't remove themselves from the menu.
They don't remove them. Yeah.
Done. Not a problem. And again, XFCE does a lot of things extremely goodly, but editing these menus out of the box ain't one of them. Never has been. So you can say goodbye to all those junky menus using this, and makes me really happy to say that there's a new version out, and that's not the Starlight thing. It's over here. Boom. Let's get to the right page. Pre-release. 232. We're going to do a couple of things here. All the Glade stuff, all the GTK builder stuff, that's going to be gone. We're going to stick with tried and true known entities, Python, GTK code, couple of new features focusing around tooltips, on-demand copy button, couple of bug fixes, and some UI improvements, along with a gang of translations. I'm really happy to see all that work, and this should help get new versions and future updates. But it is one of those applications that are kind of done. And I mean that in a positive way. I was like, yeah, I've kind of figured out everything that everything within scope of what this program needs to do. So I expect maybe the next version of this will have maybe, I don't know, an embedded MP3. No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Really happy to see that. So if you're using XFCE, check out Menu Libre. It's available in the Debian repository.
Yes. Yeah, and it actually also provides an editor for the launcher actions used by Unity and Plank as well. And so I've used it on other OSs for that reason. And yeah, like Vince says, editing menus on XFCE can be a bit of a pain.
Editing menu, I don't want to hear it. Hey, last week I can cut to the tape if you dare. If you dare fight me on this, of you saying, no, editing config files is fine. I love doing it.
Well, yeah, but editing menus is
it's the exact same thing.
Well, if you're editing using the GUI, it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, doing dot files is fine.
That's what the menus are in XFCE.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. But I was specifically talking about the dock and setting up apps to launch in the dock is a little bit, time consuming. In fact, I used to prefer XFCE 3 over 4 for that reason.
Well, one of the cool things about XFCE is this tool doesn't have anything to do with the dock.
Yeah, it doesn't do. This is just for menus.
Yeah. This is just for your application menu. All your dock stuff in XFCE, you just right-click on it, you add a launcher, and you add a program to it, and you're done.
You add a...
It's got a full GUI workflow to it. Menu, on the other hand, is where this comes in handy.
Yeah,
thus the name Menu Libre.
Yeah. I still have my dock config for XFCE menus, too. I saved those, backed those up.
It's pretty good. I like it. I use it when I got to break it out for the occasional time. Again, you see cruft in there. This was one of the reasons I had so many menus for applications that didn't uninstall properly, or they'll just be blank and you click on them and that executable's gone because they've pieced out over time. I've uninstalled them. This is a good way if you just want to sit down and hack through that and get it done. Boom. Brilliant. But, you're going to be like a lot of us. We're just going to put you have your most common stuff on your launcher.
Yeah.
You do. I know I do, within reason, because I've seen people that get crazy with a launcher. They'll go all the way across the screen. I'm like, really? Do you need all of that stuff immediately?
Yeah. I still, I keep my most used applications in the launcher, but I like to right-click on the screen also to go to menus.
See, I'm looking at my launcher right now on this box. What do we have? We have the menu. When we click that, we bring the menu. To the right of that, we have a terminal. Obviously, we have Gedit, Gedit, obviously.
Yeah.
Browser, email, Steam, DaVinci Resolve, Reaper, Pavu control, and a clock.
Yes.
That's it. So 3, 6, 9, 10, if you count the clock. 10 items. And I think that's nice and chunky for everything I need. But you can, make menus if you want. Put it all in the menu. Maybe we'll figure out a way to make it double click.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Don't worry about it, though. All this is going to be in our show notes, so if you want to go check that out, or if you're on a Debian-based system, just type in Menu Libre into your into apt. It'll pull it right up. Or I'm sure there's some like GUI package managers, probably like Synaptic.
Yeah.
Or an app store.
Synaptic to work. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to see me go screaming out into the night. Show me something like the stores, like you see, like hey, so many distributions have like app stores. I'm like, stop, quit. We got Synaptic. If you, what do they have on Fedora? Remember the name of it? It's the equivalent of Synaptic that we have for Debian.
Yeah. I'm so used to using DNF on Fedora. I have used it before, their version of Synaptic, but I'm forgetting too.
And I say this as from somebody trying to help more people run Linux, because when their adoption is trying to get not intentionally locked in, but their understanding of how to install software is only through like whatever distribution X's Y or Z's app store. It just adds confusion. I'm like, no. Don't install apps like that. Install apps the right way. What do you mean the right way? I mean my way. That's what I really mean at the end of the day. Install them however you want. Okay. Now, if you were watching the video version, you might have noticed that I accidentally opened a tab with something that looked an awfully like a tablet.
Yeah, you sure did, Ben, on accident. So this may be, honestly, the Linux tablet we have all been waiting for. Star Labs, which is the UK's maker of Linux-based laptops and mini PCs, has announced the compact and thin Starlight 5 tablet. And it has lots of amazing features, not to mention a black anodized aluminum chassis, which I was happy about. So it's going to feel really solid. And it's got a 12.5-inch IPS touchscreen display with 2880 by 1920 resolution and a 1610 aspect ratio. I really like that. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I do like that, the aspect ratios on iPads for that reason. And it's got a 1 gigahertz quad-core Intel Alder Lake N200, which turbo boosts up to 3.7 gigahertz. And it's got 512 gigabytes of Gen 3 PCIe SSD as the base, but you can get a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte PCIe card and storage. And it's also got 16 gigabytes of 4,800 megahertz LPDDR5 onboard memory, which is actually really fast for a laptop. Intel Ultra HD graphics and all the connectivity you want, micro HDMI, 2 USB Type-C holes. It's got power delivery 3.0 with Type-C's 3.2, micro SD memory card reader, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And of course, it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And it has 2 cameras, front and rear, which you expect from mobile devices these days. But it's nice that they included that. And stereo speakers, which apparently sound very good. Dual digital microphone, up to 12 hours of battery life. Open source firmware powered by Coreboot. And an optional magnetic backlit keyboard with media keys. And the base starts at $498, and with the keyboard included, it is $599. And you have your choice of many Linux distros out of the box, including Ubuntu, Zorin OS, Elementary OS, Linux Mint, Manjaro, and MX Linux. So wow, they offer a lot to us Linux users, that's for sure.
I mean, it's not bad at all. $498 for a touchscreen laptop with a detachable keyboard is not a bad price.
No.
You're going to get Coreboot and 5 years of LVFS firmware updates. And that's a big selling point when they're walking out. When they're walking out saying, hey, we're going to make sure this is going to stay supported for a long time. Really happy to see that. And it's got an open warranty. 1-year warranty, which is a little bit light. But on that open warranty, it's worry-free upgrades. Worry-free upgrades, which means that you can take this critter apart, work on it, change stuff out, and it's not going to void your warranty. They're not going to attempt to fight you on that, which is good. and 6 options for pre-installed distros. What do we have for that? Let's go take a look. See what we got. We got Ubuntu, Elementary OS, Linux Mint, Manjaro 22, MX Linux, and Zorin OS.
Yeah.
All of these are pretty good. Pretty good. No complaints there. Really, the only thing I got to say here, you got to get the keyboard. You got to get the keyboard, realistically, for
absolutely.
this. You know, 2880, 1920 resolutions, not too bad. 12-inch, okay, I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a question I got for everybody at home. Leave me a comment if you know. Do we have any fully developed, or at least partially developed, semi-functional things that you could get away with and have an enjoyable experience, mind you? Not technically they work, hashtag, asterisk, touchscreen oriented Linux desktops. Do we even have a good keyboard for the Linux desktop for touch? And by good, it has to have swipe.
Yeah, it has to have swipe. Well, I know GNOME has come a long way for mobile. That works really well on touch because they have all the new swipe features now. And Ubuntu, or just the Budgie desktop in general, is gotten better with that. And honestly, you know, because of Pine 64 and all their devices, a lot of the different Linux distros have gotten better with mobile.
So the answer is no.
No.
We're like, yeah, we have a bunch of options that kind of work. I mean, if you're not picky about it, and just make sure you have a keyboard or mouse ready, you know?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something to really crack. Strider brings up a point, probably the closest thing we've seen. And even though it's very oriented for gaming, you know, the entire experience falls apart once you're out of Steam itself. But as the Steam Deck, the mobile UI, when you have to go into desktop mode, you realize just how much of a dumpster fire trying to use touch. Because like once you're out of the Steam UI and you're going into desktop mode, you're like, go get a keyboard and a mouse. You're not gonna like
absolutely.
This. So if this desktop manager, window manager, whatever exists, let me know, because this is not a Linux problem. Anybody who's tried to use the touch interface on Windows 10 or Windows 11.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah.
That's miserable. I mean, I've never been angrier in my life than when I was trying to use Windows 10 in tablet mode and it popped up their excuse for a keyboard. I'm like, this thing just does not work. And, you know, I use a tablet. I use Android. That's in my, you know, I don't carry around a laptop. I carry around, you know, a reasonably powerful Android tablet. So, you know, I have some expectations and they're not crazy high. Again, I'm using Android. That's what I want to see, that type of experience. Outside of that, this thing is completely fanless. So despite, you know, it doesn't have a fire-breathing CPU by any stretch of the in 200
it's more like
Alder
a Celeron. Yeah.
3.7 and being fanless, this thing probably going to throttle immediately too.
It is.
So don't expect to be using this as your to play the latest and greatest of gaming. But I'm curious if somebody gets a hold of one. Let me know, because that's what I'd want to, you know, and it's not locked down, though. That's the important thing. This thing has got a regular BIOS, UEFI that you can get into, make your changes, play around with. And that's a big selling point. And I think the price is right, $498 for the base.
It is.
And go play with it. Starlabs.systems for that. But that's not going to be our last bit of x86 portability.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Nope.
Micro PC, a minimum portable computer concept using an Intel-based x86 mini PC, hinged in 5-inch OLED display, USB-C, and here let's just get right to the pictures here. Sorry, audio listeners. It's a thing. You know, it's not often we see a pie-sized device that's x86, but I mean, here we are. This elongated tube of computing goodness supports a 12th gen Alder Lake in 100.
Yay.
Power comes from a 20,000 milliamp USB-C power bank, and it's all displayed on, which is apparently a 5-inch display. The only thing not so cyber about this deck, look at that. I mean, that looks like...
You gotta be careful with it.
It's got a handle at the top, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, the one thing that's not very cyber about this deck is it's missing a keyboard, so that could be a deal breaker for some of you. It's an interesting form factor. It's like a tube. It's a tube without a case on it, with a monitor on the top taking a look at those guts, and I thought it was neat. I wanted to give it a mention here. How do I close the gallery? Oh man, that's a horrible UI.
Yeah, it's a nice long rectangular black small computer, and it's got a very simple design, yet it's very practical. And honestly, I like that the creator Matt decided to keep all input devices separate to keep the device from becoming too bulky, and at the same time not limit the computer to a certain style of keyboard or controller. That is one of the problems that some cyber decks have. But with this, you can, hook up any external full-sized or mini keyboard, mouse, or game controller you want, which a lot of people do with portable computers and anyways. So that's cool.
But more importantly, it comes with this convenient handle. You see that? You see how brilliant that is? No, it's put there for a reason. It is. Yeah. So when the TSA tells you to toss it in the bin, you don't have to worry about it. You pick it right up and you toss it, then they let you through. Yeah. Because there's no way that's getting through the TSA for any reason, right? 3D printed. All the information is available on the, it's going to be in our show notes. It'll link to the project page at Hackaday.io. I just thought that was neat for us to talk about. Before we get out of here, though, if you like us talking about the stuff we find, that's neat. Maybe consider supporting us. You can do that at linuxgamecast.com. We got a support button letting you know what we do, how we do it, when we do it, and ways to kick us some coin if that's your thing. We got Patreon, LibrePay, PayPal, you name it. We even got that cryptocurrency that kids are playing with these days. We got Amazon wish lists. If you want to pick us up a little present, we'll read a note if you send it, and that's a threat. We got Linux Gamecast merchandise. Clothe yourselves in things that look better than I normally wear. Amazon storefront if you want an itemized list of everything in the studio that you can be guaranteed works with Linux because it's in this room with me. And of course, a humble affiliate code. And we do thank you for your support. If you are a patron, you get an extra, probably like 2 hours of content. So if you like that, we got pre-shows for this show. We got the pre-super shows and for Linux Gamecast Weekly, another show that we do, available in podcast format, access to our Discord. If you're a patron, also if you sub to us on Twitch, try before you buy. Link that up. Come say hi. We're in the Discord having this conversation the other 6 days of the week. It's an interesting time. I got up this morning. We're doing AMD GPU tech support, and it's just rolling. Everybody loves a good problem in there. It's fun to watch them come together. But if you like the show, like and subscribe. Do all the fun stuff wherever you share the show. Don't spam it, but be like, hey, tell one of your close friends. Not somebody that you don't really like. Like, hey, man, let me tell you about this. Come watch us live if you get a chance. I got a couple things I'm working on. Stick around if you are a patron. Keep an eye on that AJA, that crazy expensive capture card, the professional broadcast card. I'm going to tell you all the good stuff and bad stuff about that. That's coming up, along with a professional production audio setup with Deben. Yes, Deben. We're going to be doing that as well. So that's going to do it for this episode. How about let's bring up some music and thank all the lovely people making the show possible. Do I have this?
Absolutely. My Steve husband makes the show possible too. He does make breakfast for me in the morning to help me prepare for the show and have energy. Thank you to our advisors, Omegas and Artherin. Artherin is in chat. Our executive producers, Barbrandt, Scott M, Atomic, Mike G, Drummer, 7, Chicago People, Super Desktop, Empty, Blasphemia, Sea Monsters, Vera Tenuta, Justin, Frostclaw, Death Notes, Dirty Dean, Dodger. I can't name you all, although I want to. I can't read text that small easily.
Episode 389, ladies and gentlemen. We are done with it. And what do we do? Until next week, everybody. We'll see you then.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.
I think maybe a little bit. Now we press the magic record button again, and we'll go boop, and we're done.
Yay, synthwave, huh, Strider?
Yes. Some nice classical music.
Yeah.
I need some new music bundles. Let me rephrase that. I don't need some new music bundles. I need some good music bundles. I need something that's not like gaming music, you know?
Aw, I like that. Gift can again, that's nice. Synthwave.
Beat boop music.
Mirror.
You can record a track for me, as long as you release it under Creative Commons share alike non-commercial, I'll play it.
Oh yeah, Strider, that would be awesome to have your music for LWW. That'd be great.
Send me the multi-track, because I'll probably remaster it. Alright, we got a couple of minutes to play around with in the after shows, and let me check my email and see if the world has imploded while we were doing a show.
Oh.
I don't see any implosions. Good. Oh man, there's somebody violently against RTFM for his RME. He's got a PCI Express RME card like mine, but it's an AES version. It only does AES. And you would think if you're going to spend that much money on something, you would RTFM. Some people, not going to have it. They're like, this needs to work the way I think it should work.
Yeah.
And they're going to argue with the people who are like, no, this is what you need to do to make it work. Like, no, that's not how I think it should work. Like, and it eventually boils down to like, well, have fun with it not working. Bye. You do run into weird support stuff like that with there was somebody on Mastodon who I think unintentionally became convinced that I'm the first line tech support for Hollow Knight and the Pale Court mod.
Okay.
Because they kept hitting me up with these problems and like this isn't working. Like first thing they're like, it doesn't work anymore. And I'm like, oh no. So I go check because I made a guide for it because nobody else was going to do it. And I check it. I'm like, no, it works just fine. I'm like, well, it doesn't work just fine on the Steam Deck. Like, well, like a lot of things on the Steam Deck, there's probably going to be some extra steps you got to do. So have fun with that. Figure it out. And then they finally fixed the thing in the mod to where you no longer have to run the Proton version. You can run it with the native version. So I updated made some notes there. I'm like, hey, don't worry about that. And then they just continue sending me these other problems. I'm like, dude, I don't have anything to do with Hollow Knight. I don't have anything to do with the Pale Court project. Like, go send this to the Pale Court and like, here's the GitHub issue tracker. That's where you post your stuff. You know?
Or Ven tech support.
Well, then, like, I don't want... you can't fix stuff for people, like, on social media. Like, I'm not going to do that, because half the time...
Yeah.
Half the time, I'm going to say more than half the time, that person doesn't even have a real problem. They just want to talk.
Oh, they're lonely. Yeah.
They're just like, I want to talk to you publicly.
Talk to us nerds.
And, like, that's cool. You can talk to me all you want. IRC doesn't cost you a thing. Completely free. Hop into IRC, have a chat. You want to spend some money? Drop that Twitch sub, drop that Patreon sub. Come hop in our Discord.
Yeah, and come hop in when we're doing a live show, and maybe we can help you out a little bit.
Don't do it when don't listen to Jill.
That does happen sometimes.
I don't do tech support during live shows. I'm doing a show. Like, not only am I doing a show, I'm also switching a show, recording a show, running the board. I do my best to keep track, but it's the other 6 days of the week.
Let the conversation flow for everyone that's on all our patrons and our Discord. That's a good place to do it in general.
Yes, Strider, I got your notification that you, how many extra days did you spend trying to fix the problem before you tried the thing? I'm like, here, try this. I'll probably fix it. And it did. I think Strider decided to spend another week to getting his AMD card working with DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true, Canigan.
See, those people usually have a strong enough self-preservation instinct not to bug me. Like I will always go out of my way to help somebody. Like, just make sure you got a real problem. That's all I ask. Once the RTX was alone, how did you get the RTX alone? Did you take it out and be like, hey man, I need to talk to you. What's that over there? And you run back in your house and shut the door? How do you get RTX alone?
Oh, okay. You had to go and set it up so that it was, yeah.
You gotta tell the motherboard to forget about it.
Yeah, I've had to do that before.
You know how I got resolved work? I installed it. I did that yesterday. I had to reinstall. Oh man, I had to cross my pinky toes with that. I'm like, how many activations do I have left on this? Because Resolve's got a thing where you get 2 activations per key, which means that you can have, you know, on multiple, which is good, right? You know, they're not trying to like nickel and dime you for like every seat installation. So you can have one on your laptop or one on another PC. But, you know, every time you reinstall, it counts towards your activations. And what it's supposed to do, what it does on supported operating systems like Rocky 8 and CentOS 7.3 is it will clear your activations once you install. So like if you go to install a third time, it'll deactivate the oldest activations just to make sure you don't have it installed. You know, you didn't buy one key and you're trying to install it entire, like, you know, you're selling it to people basically on PCs. What happened last time is it just wasn't working under Debian. It couldn't clear it. And I was not going to waste my time calling up Blackmagic customer support because I don't hate myself that much. What I had to resort to, and I was like, hey, Jordan, because I knew he was running Fedora at the time, and Fedora was out of the box experience because I knew from previous people talking to me. Like, could you install the Vinci Resolve for me real quick and click 2 buttons to clear all the activations? And Jordan was good like that, and he did it for me. But fortunately, I still had 1 activation remaining when I reinstalled it. So
that's good.
So I'll deal with that next time. You know, I think what would be a good business to get into would be helping people build computers. If you could buy all the parts and you could pay $100 for somebody to come over and help you put together a PC while teaching you how to do it. Not somebody that just came over and did it for you. Like, no. Somebody that would be like, okay, this is how you build a computer. Let's do this. I think that would be beneficial. Because there's only so much, man. Some people cannot, and it's not a knock on you at all. Some people can't watch a video and get everything they need from it. They need hands-on experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not universal with, like, because some things I can just watch a video on, but some things are like, no, I need to try that out before, I need practical experience before doing it. And then some people are like that with PCs. And, you know, if you've been building PCs for 30 plus years, you're disconnected. Like, you don't even think about it. You watch something else, carry on a conversation, cook dinner while building a PC. It's not a big deal. It's like, all right, I just plug this stuff in. Like when I was doing that live build, I'm carrying on conversation. Like, I'm not thinking about building the PC. I'm like, yeah, just do this and it's done. I think there would be some benefit in that. Yeah, there's the, what is the trifecta of the pyramid of do you want it done fast, cheap, or good? Pick any two. Yeah, I am curious to see what AMD releases at Gamescom. I'm not against getting an AMD card.
Yeah.
So I need something to play with. NVIDIA's too boring. It just works.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna. I mean, I I've got so many different AMD cards, but my RX 60. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm talking about. I like to do 4K gaming on my 6950, and having that 16 gigs really helps. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, I'm not. Like, I'd like to get a 16 gig card, but I know I can do everything I need to with 12 gigs because I have a 12 gig card and I haven't.
You haven't had, yeah.
I know how to work around.
Bottleneck.
Like, there's a couple of things, but I mean, there's no. I can't make a. If I had to go, if I was working at a company and I had to make a business case for it, they would laugh at me. I'm like, no. You can do everything you need to. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I think about stuff. Before I can buy something, I'm like, can I really justify this? Like, oh, and there's always a, but I want it, which is different than like, but can you still do everything you need to do? I'm like, yeah, I can. 8 gigs is way too small. Like, we shouldn't be seeing 8 gigabyte cards these days. Like,
I know. That's
12 gigs. 12 gigs
should be minimum now.
There shouldn't be a premium. Now, I could see like on a 40 series, when I think about this, just because everybody is very familiar with NVIDIA, like there should not be an 8 gig 40 series, like 4060. That like shouldn't. It should start at 12. Like the 4070 should all be 16, if you ask me, like out of the box. And anything above that should be between 16 and 24, right?
Yeah.
Because the only reason they're doing memory segmentation is to like make the difference between this and what you would call a quadros. They're not called quadros anymore, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, if you want 24, 48 gigs, 52, variants. And I'm like, we're going to pretend that memory is crazy expensive. It's not spot price on GDDR6. Nothing, man. It's a couple of bucks. So, non-Apple, oh, you mean vintage Macintoshes? Classic Macs?
And 8 gigs for gaming is generally pretty all right, except for
doing 1080p gaming, you can probably get away with it.
1080p. It's just when you want to go up to 1440 or Ultra HD that it starts having issues.
I only gave it 8K. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a machine that RX 6700, but as high as I go on that is 1440.
Well, I don't need a lot for gaming because I do all my gaming at not all my gaming. Yeah, the majority of the gaming I do is at 1080p because we're streaming it. So
yeah,
and I'm not going to go through the hassle of like setting it up to like play it at UHD or 1440, then downscaling it and all. Like, no, just play it 1080p window. Oh, yeah, I'd like something with more compute, which is the only like thing I'm a little shy about with AMD because OpenCL is it's not really a valid competitor against CUDA in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Illustrator, you don't need it. You don't play any good games.
Oh. Yeah, where you need the 16 gigs is if you want to do Ultra HD on like 3 monitors, which I do. Yeah.
You don't even need it frequently. Like UHD on 3 monitors?
Yeah. Spread it across.
I mean, for just like a desktop? Or for like playing a game?
Like when I do play games on this machine with my big 43-inch, and then I've got two 27-inch 4Ks on the side.
So splitting the game between 3 monitors?
Yeah, well, spreading it across 3 monitors. That you need the 16 gigs for that. If you're running in high resolutions, 1080 it's fine, but you want to go higher.
How much memory RAM am I using right now with my 2 4K monitors and my 1440p monitor? Ooh, I'm using 2.4 gigs of dedicated memory to run everything we got going on right now. Oh, there's another app I just realized I didn't have installed.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a screenshot. Let's see, I just want to take a screenshot, and I'm like, I don't have that. Where's my screenshot? There we go. I need to move that. I knew we were going to learn some stuff. Whoops. Now I got to configure the screenshot thing not to take a screenshot. You don't want it to do that. You want to select a region. And...
Oh, I can again. Yeah, I should do an updated one. It's been a while. It's changed a lot since the last one I had here showed at Linux Gamecast, that's for sure.
This is going to be the first picture I've saved in the pictures folder. There we go.
Oh.
We're not exactly crushing the 3060. It's pretty happy. Using a whopping 5% of that PCI Express Gen 3 bandwidth. But, oh, I'm happy with 12 gigs. I'd like more, like everybody else. Like more is better. Like what's worse? What's wrong with more? Why would you want to artificially limit yourself, right? Room to grow. Yeah, you can run a bunch of 4K displays on a just like an APU. Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
Just the desktop by itself doesn't require much.
It's just when you want to play games on all three at the same time. That's when you come into a lot of memory usage.
Well, what resolution are you running them at when you play them across all three monitors?
Higher than 4K. So, like with Portal 2, I was running it higher, almost 5K.
Like, well, it's easy to math out. What's the resolution of your screens?
Ultra HD on all three.
Well, you have the other ones in vertical, though, right?
Yeah, they're in vertical. So
you got 3 monitors. You got 1 UHD and 2 verticals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just switched the ones on the side used to be 1080s. Now they're Ultra HDs.
Mm. So that would be. Let me see. What is your resolution on your verticals?
Okay, let me look.
Mine is 2560 by 1080.
That's higher than that. I had them at 1440 at one point. Let's see. Uh, 2160 by 3840.
Well, that's UHD.
Yeah. Hmm. So that's what I have them all set up right now.
Okay, so they're not like ultra wides?
No,
Hmm.
Yeah, in fact, because I had to get a standard 16:9 so they would fit with the 43-inch monitor. My one behind me now, that's a 34-inch ultra wide.
The one behind you?
Mm-hmm. I have just above that keyboard, there's a big ultra wide
oh, nobody
monitor.
can see that.
No.
That just looks like darkness.
It does look like darkness, yeah. I was thinking of putting a border around it or something.
You can plug it into a Raspberry Pi and play some stuff on
it. That's a 200 refresh monitor. I don't think so. I have to lower it to like 60.
That's going to be adaptive. I mean, if he's got something playing on it, it'll do 60.
Oh yeah, I have to change it, yeah.
All right, everybody, it is almost 4:30, which means I need to go and transmogrify the bit. So I want everybody to have a great rest of your week. If I don't see you until next Wednesday, but Jordan's going to be back tomorrow playing some more Baldur's Gate 3 on Linux, doing that testing. It should be a fun time, at least.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to watch if that's your jam. And Friday, I'll be back for Trackmania. We'll be doing rounds matches. As always, 7:30 p.m. I'm always going to tell you, go to Twitch, click on that schedule button. Because that's the only thing I can say. It's like, I don't know when things come on. Like, well, I'm surprised you can feed yourself. Because that's where you need to go. And it'll give you alerts. And you can make notes for yourself. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.